बेटा 10th के बाद क्या करना है? हाँ 12th के बाद? Confused? Welcome to IIT Factory! No, IITs are brilliant, but there are more outstanding opportunities available to you than you realize, and most of them involve applying to universities abroad. Hi, I'm Anay Gupta, a 3-time CAI World Topper, AS Level All India Rank 1, 7-time Cambridge awardee, and freshman at Imperial College, the second best university in the world. Preparing for my IGCSEs in grade 9 and 10, the IGCSEs were the most important thing in my life. I didn't know anything before them or after them, just that they were very integral to my very existence. And so I worked hard. I grew obsessed with them and I grinded my way to a double world topping performance and an All India rank 3. But after writing that last MCQ paper, I felt pretty clueless about what to do next. And so I did what any sane student in their right mind would do. Forget everything and go party. I'm the world champion of procrastination. But there came a point where I could no longer delay my decision. I researched my options and a lot of my friends were committing to the JEE rat race, which is indeed a very respectable option. But instead, I chose to fly. If you're even 1% as confused as I was 2 years ago, then this series is for you. This is episode 1 of Decoding College Applications, where we break down essays, academics, tests, interviews, recs, and scholarships, the full playbook to applying abroad. This isn't a hype video. I'm not here to say everyone should go study overseas. I've seen many classmates go down that path without direction and end up with only regrets. So, this video is all about helping you find out whether this path is right for you at all, before you fully commit your high school journey into achieving those dream admits. Let's start with the biggest question. Should you even apply abroad, and which countries should you target? Struggling with quadratic equations, you can't confirm whether you want to study stochastic calculus or not. So while you can't confirm what you want to study, you can at least think about the environment you want to study in. Do you want to customize your curriculum, indulge in undergraduate research, enjoy co-ops and project-based learning? Then applying abroad might just be for you. Let's compare a typical Indian university experience with a typical foreign university experience. Stream flexibility here is rigid, but you can substitute electives from a variety of options overseas. The curriculum here is technical heavy and predetermined, but overseas, you can choose what you want to study through a combination of majors, minors, and interdepartmental classes. You can take entrepreneurship classes as engineering majors and music classes as economics majors. Most Indian syllabi are theoretical, exam-focused with fewer open-ended projects. Outside, there's more of project-based, research-intensive, active discussion. At my college, for example, we learn about CPUs by making CPUs from scratch. Class sizes in India are generally huge, with about 100 to 500 students in classes here. Abroad, you could have smaller classes of about 10 to 200 students. At office hours, seminars, and workshops, and I'd say there's more personalized learning overseas. Now this one is a game changer. Research in India is quite commonly reserved for postgrads, but abroad, research is ubiquitous. Research from first year of undergraduates is quite common. This culture shift, coupled with the availability of more funding and resources, could seriously affect your undergraduate experience. Talk about industry connect. Internships are more competitive but mostly self-sought over here. Outside, there are a lot of career fairs, co-ops, and alumni networking support to land internships. There's also an option to take a year of work placement in countries like the UK, where the university places you into a partner firm for a year-long paid internship where you could gain some very valuable experience. Finally, soft skill development is weaker in India than overseas. Although this situation is improving, clubs abroad are more active and build stronger communication and leadership skills. Moreover, meeting people from all over the world builds a stronger perspective and potentially a stronger international network. On the flip side, studying abroad is ridiculously expensive. Yes, we will talk about scholarships later this series, but scholarships are pretty rare for international students. So coupled with very high tuition and living expenses abroad, you might also want to factor in the cost of applications, extracurriculars, and tests like APs and SATs, which you have to pay even before you receive your admission decision and can commit to university. Yes, the return on investment often materializes in the future, but it might not be worth it if you're attending a lower ranked college like Arizona State University, unless you can afford a 4-year-long vacation. Also, due to the lack of structure and too many options abroad, it is easy to feel lost and get overwhelmed by universities abroad. So, you will need to take initiative yourself. If you're someone who needs to be pushed by the demands of the syllabus into studying, then applying abroad is definitely not for you. Finally, securing a stable job and navigating visa formalities, especially after graduation, is something that concerns a lot of parents and students. Now, before you IIT guys and IIT Milane Bits Pilani students start jumping onto my moving train, I agree. An IIT Bombay might match an Imperial College London eye to eye for the student experience, prestige, alumni, faculty, research, and student experience. But if you don't crack the top tier here, you fall really behind. A tier 2 US college could be ranked higher than IIT Bombay. University of Wisconsin-Madison, for instance, has faculty who graduated from MIT. Manipal nahi, Massachusetts. Now I agree, the comparison to IIT Bombay is pretty wild, but University of Wisconsin-Madison should significantly be better than a tier 2, tier 3 Indian university. With bigger campuses, better faculties, and better opportunities, foreign universities widen the gap with their Indian counterparts as we move downwards in tier and reputation. So applying abroad might have the best plan B. But why think about all of this right now? Now here's where people get stuck. What if I apply abroad and write a JEE and ET, CUET, CET, ACT, SAT as backup? Abhi hut! Now, for every exam, you get one shot. One JEE advanced attempt, one NEET, one CUET. And your whole future hinges on one number. Abroad, you build a profile. You write essays, you lead projects, perhaps do high school research and take the SATs. And crafting your story takes time. So does grinding out ridiculously hard entrance tests to Indian universities. And unfortunately, you only have 24 hours in a day. Now, after listening to all this, if you're considering applying abroad, let's look at some of the most popular destinations. Each country focuses on a different part of your profile and has a different approach to learning. So, I would recommend you roughly zero in on which experiences appeal to you the most and which applications, you have the higher chances of doing well in. First, United States of America, the land of the SAT, the Common App, and college essays. The US offers maximum flexibility. You can try different things out for a couple of years before deciding your major. So if you're unsure between computer science and mathematics, great, you can do both and then decide after your second year what you want to study or major in. Research opportunities, extracurricular support, diverse clubs, and the entrepreneurship ecosystem here is top tier. But the application process is extremely lengthy and requires essays, SAT or ACTs, recommendation letters, and interviews. This process is extremely grueling emotionally, and trust me, the 1,000 essays that I have written were an absolute pain in the ass. Second on this list is the United Kingdom. The UK is for students who are sure of what they want to study. You apply to not just the university, but to a specific course as well. So, if you want to study physics, your entire application profile, your personal statement, and your recommendation letters must demonstrate your passion for physics. The bachelor's degree in the UK is shorter, 3 years as compared to 4 years for American universities, so the general exploration of subjects is quite lesser. However, the subject matter of your particular major is very deep and very focused, so you absolutely penetrate straight into the hearts of your syllabus. The UK also offers 1-year industrial placements and is relatively cheaper than the US. The top UK universities are more academically intense, and there is also greater international diversity in the UK universities. Very few universities, like Imperial, offer non-major classes like entrepreneurship for engineering majors and heavily invest in their extracurricular activities. So, if you're the cream of the crop, the top UK universities could seriously match the American university experience. Third country on the list is Canada, or as we call them, Mini Punjab. Canadian universities offer top-class public education, friendly immigration policies, and vibrant city life. You can also easily secure a post-graduation work permit, and it's easier to settle there compared to the US or the UK, and even easier if you're a Punjabi. The academic structure is lighter than the UK and less flexible than the US. Application processes are also pretty simple. You only need to submit your grades and a personal statement. So it is less competitive than the top US or UK universities. So in my personal opinion, it would not be my first choice. Fourth country is Singapore. Singapore is rising very rapidly in STEM innovation and education, with National University of Singapore and Nanyang Technological University consistently ranked in the top 10 universities of the world for the past few years. Singapore is academically rigorous, offers excellent STEM and business programs, has lower tuitions compared to Western countries, and offers a lot of hands-on activities and learning. However, it's very competitive and more exam-based like India, although they do ask for a personal statement and your academic records. Now, if you don't crack the top 2, 3, 4 universities in Singapore, there are quite a limited range of top global, education opportunities over there. So then Singapore might not be a good fit for you. Next coalition of countries is Europe. Europe, particularly referring to the Netherlands, Germany, Spain, and France. Countries like Germany offer free programs even for international students. Although here, you may have to learn a new language. The Netherlands, on the other hand, and Spain offer a lot of English taught programs so that it is more accessible for international students. Overall, in Europe, education is cheaper, the quality is great, and diversity is quite high. However, the campus life might be a little lesser than what you might have expected at a typical American university. So, what do you do now? Think about the kind of experience you want, your financial situation, your academic strength, and your risk appetite. I didn't choose to apply abroad because I wanted to run away from the Indian education system. I know I can nail down an exam. It's what made me the 3-time world topper and AS level All India rank 1. I chose to apply abroad because I want an educational environment where I learn practically. I learn by doing and failing. You don't need to have everything figured out right now, but you do need to decide whether this is a path worth pursuing for you. Because once you do, every project, test, and extracurricular will count. This was episode 1 of Decoding College Applications. In our next episode, we will talk about academics. We will talk about turning transcripts to storyboards, marks to assets, no matter where you're from. Until then, I am Anay Gupta. And if you've made it this far, it's time you started thinking globally. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great high school experience, because no matter the outcome of your college applications journey, you will have grown as a person. Thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe if you like the content, and stay tuned for part 2 of this very engaging series.
Let's crack it,